latest on Typhoon Soulik, which has stalled in the last 24 hours before we anticipate it's going to move towards the Japanese islands. It's a Category 3 right now on the Saffir-Simpson scale with winds of 120 miles per hour. It's at 25.1 degrees north, 139.5 degrees east. A Category 3 on the Saffir-Simpson scale and a Stage 7 on the CDPS with a catastrophic damage potential. That's owing mainly to how slowly it's moving at the minute. 115 miles from Iwoto, 732 from Tokyo, and around 700 or 800 from most of the other locations in Japan, and 931 miles from Busan, South Korea. As the storm begins to move slowly towards the northwest, it will start to pick up speed a little bit later on. The gale advisory is still in effect for the Ogasawara Islands at this time. No other warnings are in effect yet, and that's probably not going to be the case for at least a day or two by the time we get into the new week. So this is what we're looking at in terms of when we're expecting the storm to move towards the islands. You can see its initial rain band just about reaching the Ryukyu Islands on Tuesday night or Wednesday, and then the bulk of the storm following very swiftly as it continues to move towards the northwest, curving round towards the north, and then could be a significant system maybe for South Korea as well. Behind that you can see newly formed tropical storm Cimarron, which could strike Japan next week as well as a Category 2. That is what the current official forecast is saying. Here's the sea surface temperatures in the meantime, 28 or 29 degrees all the way up until its eventual potential landfall. If it does make landfall in Japan, it could still be at Category 3 intensity, so we're watching this one very closely. The JTWC forecast doesn't call anymore for a Category 4 peak, but we do need to be vigilant for that potential to occur. It is at 120 miles per hour, just 10 more, and that would make it a Category 4 storm. That's probably not going to be the most relevant point. The storm's then likely to move towards the northwest, possibly over Kagoshima, but now it's looking like it's going to move further west of Kyushu and graze the western coast. But of course the track could change later on, as it has changed since the last update. This is what we're looking at in terms of the chance of tropical storm force winds. 79% for Kagoshima, that's the highest percentage for any of the major cities. 72% in Nagasaki and 62% in Busan, South Korea. So you've got a line pretty much extending all along the western coast of Kyushu up into South Korea for the highest potential for storm conditions. Again, the CTCX being the outlier in the intensity forecast, calling for nearly a Category 5. Most of the storms are calling for it to stay as a Category 3, which is why the JTWC has gone with that. Wind shears generally remaining low, sea surface temperatures good until landfall, relative humidity is mediocre. And you can see there on the left hand side the HWRF is an outlier to the west. The storm could strike the western coast of South Korea. So if we were to draw a cone, it would be quite an expansive one. So we've got to watch out for exactly where the storm's going to go, especially since it's stalling right now, as you can see on the imagery, moving very slowly west-northwest. That adds to the uncertainty for its eventual track later on. Motion is just as important as direction, and quite often a slower moving storm usually means a recurvature sooner than if the storm begins to pick up speed later. So that's something we're going to be monitoring constantly for the next few days, but for the time being we're still around 2 or 3 days away until we really get concerned about Soulik. You can follow Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com, with you at any time. You can also find our YouTube page if you're not there already, subscribed hopefully, and you can also follow our Facebook page, search Force 13 all in text. Videos are now there as well, and you can follow us on Twitter at Force13 is our handle, and it's hashtag F13 Soulik if you'd like to draw our attention to anything in future live events or whatnot. You can also help the project become even better by becoming a patron with its various rewards that come with that feature as well. And you can add me personally, Fool13 at extension 9094 on Discord, and Force13 on Skype for tropical weather chat.